There is a silent trap destroying lives in our society today. And because of the fact that the trap is not yet obvious to many of us, we tend to direct our attention to politicians and the economy as the root cause of our problems. And that is not me excusing the corruption and the bad leaders that we have. No. But we can't negate the fact that we are contributing to our own stagnation. But before we go further, I am Igbo Joseph Middleman, a transformation strategist, and I believe so well that the transformation of our society is everyone's responsibility, which is why I'm lending my voice. You can subscribe to my YouTube channel and then follow me on other social media platforms. So having said that, let's dive into the major silent trap that is destroying our society today. In fact, every day, the trap of marriage and childbearing without adequate preparation. God informed us to be fruitful, multiply, and then replenish the earth, which is not a bad admonishment to us. But what we need to know is that when God is talking about the fruitfulness is not just about biological fruitfulness alone. God's way of fruitfulness encompasses career fruitfulness, purpose fruitfulness, as well as business fruitfulness. God is not referring to just a biological fruitfulness, but in our society today, all we are focusing on is biological fruitfulness. Messages from our spiritual fathers or spiritual leaders are just centralizing on or telling young men, telling youth to ensure that they get married by faith. They tend to compare our generation with the generation of founding fathers, Abraham in the Bible, as well as David, Moses, and all of that. But our generation is different from theirs. During their time, they have the luxury of seeing children as a proof of success. But the time has changed, because during their time, it was more of agriculture. It was more of you having children to assist you in the farm. So your prosperity as at then depends on the number of children that you have, which is why they tend to see children as a proof of success. So the larger the size of your family, the larger the chance of you being successful. But we don't want to agree to the fact that the time has changed, that children are no longer a proof of success, but we are still leading our life to mirror Abraham just because we are his descendants. And I can tell you that is the major reason why we have so many crimes in our society today, because of desperate fathers that could not feed their children as they would want to, but they want to do it by all means. So they go about stealing, robbing, and do illegal works to ensure that they put food on the table for their family. And nobody's talking about that. We are always focusing on politicians, the bad leaders, and the bad economy, which I'm not trying to defend the politicians. They have their own fault. But we also have our fault as a society for pushing people into responsibilities that they are not yet prepared for. And if we don't do something about it now, in the nearest future, it is going to be hard for us to walk in the street. There are some streets in Lagos State that once it is 8 o'clock, if you pass the street, they're going to snatch everything that you have in your pocket. They're going to snatch your phones and every other items that you have that they could exchange for money in order to go and feed their children. That is where we find ourselves currently. And the rate is going to keep increasing if we are not lending our voice to talk about it, to talk about marriage and childbearing without preparation, without adequate preparation. We must see to it to tell people, the young ones that are coming behind us, that marriage and childbearing are not a proof of success. That they should not go into marriage or childbearing if they don't have the means, the concrete means to ensure that those children are well nurtured and cared for. Religious leaders should stop telling people to marry by faith. You can't take care of children by faith. I believe in having faith in God. But when it comes to serious business as marriage and childbearing, we should not encourage the youth to go out there and marry by faith. We should stop presenting children as a proof of success, just as in the days of agricultural era. We are no longer in that era anymore. So I am counting on you and I to take it upon ourselves and spread the message to the young ones that are coming behind us. I'm already doing my part. And as well, I'm writing a book currently. It's titled Modern Marriage is a Luxury. Can you afford it, Mr. Man? So it's not a book against marriage or against women or against you as a man. It's a book for preparation. It's a book to prepare young men that marriage and childbearing is not something that they could just enter or have without adequate preparation. And I encourage you to do your own part as well in any possible way that you can lend your voice to ensure that we have our young men to have a new school of thought as regards to the subject of marriage and childbearing. Let's do this for the next generation and those that are coming behind us. God bless you. Until next time. Peace.